Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. As I promised you guys yesterday, today we're taking a look at the qualifiers which happened yesterday, and today they're happening again. So if you want to check them out, make sure to go on Twitch or on YouTube. There are tons of streamers streaming all of the action. Make sure to follow them and check those streams out. But for us, we had yesterday two wars. And those were pretty good for us. Like, the first one was against Danish Clan War and the second one against MCS. And as you guys can see in the match history, we had our nice revenge. So I'm already revealing kind of the results once again because I do not want to highlight the exciting matches itself. I want to highlight the attacks. I want to explain a bit more on how we came on the plans, or like how we came up with the plans and what were the thinking behind that. Let's check out the first war, and EveCheck and me did the two triples, which means we're still perfect in the entire tournament, which means we had so far as tried 5 wars, and EveCheck and me so far had 5 triples each. So thank you, I guess I jinxed myself right now. Either way, let's check out the first attack. And we have the first one with EveCheck doing a Yeti smash. And let's pause over here because I want to explain obviously why exactly we came up with the plan, what was the thinking behind, and everything around that. So first off, the first thing which we kind of figure out on that base is if you kind of split this base in half, you have most of the single target damage on the left side. Which means we have all of the 4 heroes over there, like the Royal Champ, the Queen, the King, and the Warden as the defense, and all of the 4 expos, which means the point defense, like the damage on the left side, is freaking insane. Like, you don't want to charge over there. So the next option we had is, well, the right side, there isn't as much damage because all of the point defending defenses are on the other side. So there's a couple of options which we could do on the right side. Let's do a Queen charge. We could go for a Sui because there's really no damage on our heroes, so they should get a lot. And just a lot of different options we could go for. So what exactly came we up with, and what was the reason behind that? So first off, we had the idea, let's do a ward walk over here maybe, and enter over here with a double layer or like a jump spell. Another jump, just Yeti smash in there, and like King Funnel at the bottom. That was the first idea we had, but then EveCheck said like, why not just do it as a queen walk? Because if you start the queen over here, and this base is completely symmetrical, like, you do not care if the queen is going up or to the bottom, like both is totally fine for you. And this means as soon as the queen has decided, you can just like add the Yeti smash, add the king and everything, and just like put everything in there and just smash through the base. That was kind of the approach he had. So let's check out how exactly he's doing that. First off, he's placing a giant. If you guys are wondering, why the heck is he placing a giant if there's only one cannon? Like, why would you do that? The reason behind that was kind of easy and clever at the same time. So the reason behind that was that if he's placing a giant over here, his queen is taking not too much damage. This results in that he can wait to deploy his healers on the flank, which means on one of those 2 spots. If he would have deployed the healers over here, the healers would have been way closer at the wall, and this means the Inferno Tower would have been way earlier on the healers. So this is why he's waiting with deploying the healers. He's deploying them more towards the left, which means they're more like this, and this means they're out of the range of the Inferno Tower. That was the entire idea behind that. He has to use the Warden ability and the Queen ability kind of early on because there was way more damage than he expected with all of the Tesla over there. And now he has to rage the Queen because she's taking way more damage than he thought, and the Yetis haven't tanked the scatter shot yet. So another rage over here as well. The siege breaks at the top side. Some guys might have thought, okay, he would just support his king over there, but instead he's using the siege break at the top side. The reason behind that is he just wants to get rid of the entire flank at the top side and make sure that everything is grouping up at the back end of the base. Which means like the top side is getting taken out by the Hawk Riders and everything, and then the hybrid and everything is grouping up together in the back end. That was kind of the approach he had. So meanwhile, you guys saw maybe the delayed jump in the core. The idea behind that was that the Yetis and the Boulders would smash this wall on his own, and then he could jump on the back end. But because all of the Yetis and everything went onto the outside kinda, he had to place the jump even though the jump was planned for the back end. And now we're getting to the part why exactly Yeti Smash is that broken. Because as you guys can see, even though nearly everything died, there are a couple of Yetis still alive, and the important thing, he didn't caught any black mines yet, which means that his Yetis just can't die. They can't freaking die because of the freaking healers, healing power and the splash healing of the healers on troops, and because Yetis always group up, well, they just get through the back end. And even though this was kind of close attack, he has like still one packer left at the top side. Even though it was a close looking attack, this is going to be a huge overkill. The only thing which was close was time. You guys maybe saw it in the beginning. There wasn't much time left, but the Warden in combination with all of the Yetis and all of the backside troops like the Wizards, etc. are cleaning things up. The Warden is following nicely, going for the Elixir Collector and then for the Gold Mine. And this means this is going to be the first triple of the war and the first triple of our 2 wars yesterday. So nicely done by EveCheck. And like I already said, the next attack is going to be from me. And this one was a Queen Charge hybrid. So we both attacked kind of with our signature attacks over there. And once again, let's briefly explain why I did what I did. So the first idea we had on this base was something like a Dragbat plan. And the Dragbat plan itself didn't look that bad, to be honest. And then I was like, okay, this base has actually 4 freaking air expos. No one's using 4 air expos because ground is that strong right now. So I thought, okay, the Dragbat plan isn't looking bad, but with like 4 air expos, it's kind of risky, and why would you do that? So I was like, okay, let's figure out something which is working on that base. And the first thing which came to mind is for me like this part over here. Like this part over here is way too far on the outside for how much pathing value you can get. Because this expo and this elephant is way too deep inside of the base that it could even threaten my healers or my queen. So that was an issue. So I would want to walk either side, like to this side or to this side. So the first thing which I thought, okay, let's walk into the tunnel because that's normally always what you do. So when you're walking like this, then wall break in over here, and then you have the queen, the clan castle alert. You will have, you will be able to distract the scatters and everything. Now the next thing which I have to think about, how do we funnel in the beginning? And that was just like the classic king pathing trick, which I showed you guys in one of my latest videos. So like king like placing over here, king would go like this, like kind of like this. To make sure that everything is happening like this, we have to place one wizard over here, and then that's kind of like the king. That's the queen. Next thing we have to funnel over here. We were kind of afraid of that being Tesla because there were not that many good Tesla spots overall. So, sorry. And even though there could be Tesla, I thought, okay, I have so many loons and I just have the baby dragons, so that should be alright. So yeah, that was the approach. Then the next thing, okay, let's make sure that I'm sending in the hybrid over here just to make sure that my queen is actually getting through the wall. And obviously like getting rid of a couple of damage buildings on the queen. That was the entire approach. Let's see how it works. Or like, let's see how it works in the end. You guys know already that it's going to be a triple. Like I said, the king pathing, this is a simple trick which you all have to know with like the king pathing on the outside. It's super important that you can predict kind of the pathing of the king. Otherwise you sometimes have huge issues in the funneling. I saw this already so many times. And now as we thought it might happen, the Tesla were up there. So now I have to come up with something to save this, like to save this funnel. And the approach I had was wait until the archer was on my queen. As soon as the archer was on my queen, I can place the baby dragon. And then I have to kind of funnel this Tesla over here because that's all what I need. Because then the baby dragon will like keep going over here. This wall breaker is like opening up the wall, even though the first wall break was completely stupid and target this wall. I don't know why. But yeah, the first wall is opened, everything is looking good, even though I swagged my first wall breaker kinda, but the queen should go in. That's everything which counts on this part. So, first clan castle came out, which was a split CC, which means like the first couple of archers came out, and then the rest, which means it takes for ages because you can't drop the poison, because if I would have dropped the poison, I would have had to face 2 witches without the poison, which sucks, so do not do that. And yeah, now the queen is taking out the town hall. As soon as the town hall is taken out, I can just get started with my hybrid. I should have deployed first the warden, then the miners, to be honest. In the end, it's not too bad because I can place like a nice heal spell over there. I had to use the heal spell early. I would have liked to not use the heal spell over there, but the scatter was not as I hoped for on my queen. Instead, the queen is now beating their wall because I do not have a second wall break over there. And now this is like the next important thing about this attack, and I pause it over here as soon as I drop the rage, because you guys saw that my troops were splitting, which means like a big group of troops were going over here and a big group of troops were going over here. Hybrid is really strong as soon as you have a big group of troops, like miners, hawk riders, whatever, because then you can place your heal spells and spells of all really effectively. So what I did over here, I raged the bottom part, even though the value over here isn't that big. But with raging that bottom part, you can see that those troops are way quicker than the inner core troops, and this means they're catching up to the big group, and this means they're grouping up again, and this means we have a big group once again together, which are facing like the back end of this base. So this is why I placed the rage at the bottom instead of in the core, and this makes like a really nice pathing thing. So yeah, then I made sure that my queen is staying alive with the freezes, which I still had because I hadn't used them anywhere else. And then just a freaking overkill. Like, this attack was completely demolishing the base. And yeah, even though the wall break didn't really work as planned, it was a crazy nice overkill. And yeah, this is how we won the first war, 12-10. And our bases actually defended crazy well. So huge shout out to our base building team as well. They did some crazy work. So overall, this was the round of top 64. And this was the round of top 32. And just imagine facing those two clans and only getting 1 out of 10 attacks on your bases as a triple. That's damn crazy, especially if you consider facing clans like MCS. So that was pretty nuts. Let's take a look at the next war. Like I said, Evecheck and me are still perfect, so we both tripled. And the next guy who tripled was Lex in the last attack. That was like the last second attack. He was trying to go safe, but I mean, if Lex is going safe, he tripled. So that was kind of funny. Let's take a look at the attacks after each other. First one is going to be once again Evecheck. And this time, even though he's coming with Yeti Smash, he's going, or like having the addition of bats. And one thing which is kind of funny is that he's not bringing any freezes. So taking a look at the base was like the first thing which come to mind for most of the other guys, was that Warlock over here would have been kind of nice. But the only bad thing is that if you're doing a Warlock over here, and if you're taking a look at the range of the Expo, this Expo would have locked onto the Warden kind of quickly. So this means if an Expo is locking on the Warden, the healers won't switch because the Warden is getting like constant damage. So this means the healers won't switch, the Yetis won't getting healed, and that's kind of the entire idea of Yeti Smash. So what he did instead, and that's once again like an Evecheck thing which no base builder whatsoever would ever freaking test, like no one. So what he did do instead, he used his Royal Champion early to make sure that he's getting rid of the ground Expo, because what this does, it takes care of first the Wizard Tower, which is nice for his bats later on, and second of all, he took care of the Expo, which means his Warden won't take that much damage, which means the healers will switch for sure. So that was like 900 IQ at least. So nicely done by Evecheck. Next thing which he's trying to do is he's trying to abuse those open walls over here to get his Yeti Smash in there. He did a nice funnel already on the left side. Now he has to start off like at the top side with some troops over there as well. The P.E.K.K.A.'s kind of quickly getting melted by the single Inferno Tower, but still it's all looking really good. Hawk Riders are coming out, and they're supposed to funnel like the top side defenses. And yeah, now the Yetis are coming in. It's not looking that good yet because the town hall's not activated and the clan castle is kind of strange. So the Hawk Riders are pathing the town, or like avoiding the town hall, which is kind of annoying. Then the single Inferno Tower is locking on his queen, which is another bad thing happening. And yeah, overall it's not looking too good, to be honest. But now the bats are coming in, and just take a look at the back end. Those two scatters are tanked, and there are no freaking Wizard Towers whatsoever at the back end. So that was super nice scouted. Only one Wizard Tower over here, which is at the back, so you don't really care about that one. So it's not looking too good, to be honest, because the Eagle is locking on the bats. The Queen is the only troop which is still alive from the top side, but the bats are still alive, and there's not too much being able to target the bats, which is kind of the main thing behind that. So taking care of the Archer Tower, taking care of all of the remaining defenses except this last Wizard Tower. So now we need a hero. And this hero is going to be the Warden, because the Queen is going to die really soon. And now the Warden is doing all the work, all the heavy lifting. and clearing the rest of this base. This was freaking nuts. At this point I already thought, okay, it's GG, like this won't be a triple anymore, like as soon as the top troops died out. But then EFJ was like, hey guys, it's still a triple. We're like, wait, what? It was actually kind of funny. So yeah, that was the first triple in our war, in our second war. This is going to be the attack of Lex, which he did like in the last second. And it was supposed to be like a safe 2-star attack, because like I said, we already were leading with 2 triples to none. So going into the last attack, we didn't want to make any risks. So that was just the 2-star plan. But those Tesla messed him up kind of a little bit, because those Tesla melted the P.E.K.K.A. and the Tesla made sure that the queen was quicker than the funnel. And this means the queen's going now on the outside and not really going to the town hall. But since the Tesla, or like the wizards and everything, and now the nicely placed mines at the bottom are funneling everything, the queen will once again step inside and get rid of the town hall, and is creating the pathing which he's needing. So the pathing thing is, if he's taking care of everything over here, and the siege barracks is taking care of the top side kinda, you can see it's a nice pathing for the hybrid, and the queen can still like keep going because he opened up everything. So the queen will get something like this, which is crazy. So yeah, that was kind of the idea, and was a safe 2-star because he took care of the town hall with his queen already. So everything is looking really good for him. The king is coming in, hybrid is coming in, hawk riders are coming in as well, and there's still some more hawk riders from the siege barracks. So it's looking pretty good for him at the moment. Now the next thing, warden ability early. You guys know me, I'm normally always doing it the exact same around, so I'm using a heal spell early and then the warden ability. He's doing it the other way around. I don't know if there's like a perfect way or the best way to do it. I just know that some people are doing it differently, which is totally fine. The queen, meanwhile, is going on their wall, which is okay, I would say. It's not too bad, to be honest, but at the same time it's kind of strange because she could have reached that schedule from the outside as well. But the thing which is kind of important over here is this expo. This expo is getting taken out by the queen, which is kind of super important. And now he's getting into the back end. And now the magic is happening. Queen is dying. The healers are getting over to the troops which are needing health. And now they're getting parked onto the freaking Inferno Tower. Which means the Inferno Tower can't lock onto the Royal Champion. And this is kind of the most important point in this attack, because the single Inferno Tower can't kill his Royal Champion because they're tanking the single Inferno Tower. So that was kind of the important part. Royal Champion clearing the back end, and this means this is going to be another triple. So nicely done by Lex. And well, there's one more attack to go for you guys, which I want to show you. And this is my last attack. And actually, I'm pretty proud of this one. You guys will maybe see in a second. So what was the idea behind that? The idea behind that was I wanted to abuse this open tunnel compartment. I want like something like this should happen. Like this was the idea I had. And this means we need to funnel over here. We need to funnel over here. And that's it. So how do we do that? The idea was, okay, let's use my king once again with like this pathing trick. Like this. Get rid of this building. So the king should go that way. And then the queen at the bottom to make sure that the king is actually following that way. So the queen over here, she should go like something like this. And then we funnel over here. I expected Tesla to be over here because of that. I used like 5 loons. And well, then as soon as we got that and the queen is in here, I would use the siege barracks over there and then just hybrid into the back end. That was kind of the idea. So let's check it out how it works. So starting off with the queen and then like right and behind with the king. Then obviously the funnel on the left side and everything. So that was the approach. King on the right side, minion over there to funnel the king for later on. That was the idea, like I said. Then the queen's taking everything. The Tesla, as expected, that was kind of way too obvious with the Dark Elixir storage over there. And then some more loons just to make sure that we're getting rid of the cannon kind of quickly. But now the one thing which is kind of bad is this gold mine. I should have dropped something on that gold mine. Maybe a wizard or whatever, something. Because now the queen is doing this one step on the outside. And now she's going for the elixir storage. And this was the moment where I thought like, oh crap, I messed up. And now this is why I was kind of proud of attack because you guys know the result already. But now it's how we came there, like how we approach this. So the next thing which I'm doing, I first off deployed the healers really late to have the right angle. And then I raised the queen. And now I have to somehow get the town hall. Like this is the pathing which I want to have. Now I'm playing the first wall break to see where it's going. And actually, even though a lot of people are saying, okay, the wall break failed, not really. The most important thing which opened up was those walls. With those walls getting removed, I have ASAP access to the town hall without pathing like around over here. So, taking Inferno Towers on my queen, freezing that one, and now I have to do a lot of things at the same time. Siege barracks, miners, freeze on the town hall once again, making sure that everything is staying alive. So a lot of things at the same time. And now the next thing what I'm doing is once again keeping my queen alive and luring out the enemy clan castle. I'm delaying the rage to make sure that I'm getting rid of the lava pops as quick as possible. And everything is now getting into the core. I have to use like clutch warden ability because my hawk riders and everything are that low. So warden luckily followed. Heal spell at the top side. And now the next rage, because the only thing how I can triple this attack if I clear the core. I still have my queen ability, so there was no reason to save the rage. I cleared instead the top side. Make sure that once again the hawk riders and everything are grouping up at this last Inferno Tower, because that's the important thing which needs to go down. Because if that is going down, my queen can reach everything else on the outside and can finish this attack on her own. So the miners are getting to the town, getting to the Inferno Tower. There's so many miners alive that they're easily killing the backend defenses. And now the queen is doing her thing. He just actually switched onto the warden. Nicely done, because the warden is taking heavy damage of all of the defenses. I don't know, those healers are sometimes so stupid. But either way, the queen's still alive, and that was kind of the key moment on this one. I don't know why it's lagging right now. But yeah, that was kind of the key moment in this one. And like I said, if something is going as planned, an attack is kind of easy. Like, if an attack is going as planned, everything is looking really easy. But saving those attacks is way more difficult, so I was really proud of that attack, that I was somehow able to save this attack. And yeah, this was, I think, the second or the first triple in the war. So it was like a nice momentum shift, because this war was really close overall, even though it kind of looked one-sided, but it was really close because they had like a 99% attack as well. So it could have ended either way, like a 99 over here. So it was really close, and that was like a nice momentum shift for us. And yeah, this is how we managed to get into the round of top 16, I think. And this means 2 more rounds are getting played today. And if we somehow can be able to win those 2, then we're in the next qualifier. So as I said, the streams are already live. So if you want to watch those wars, make sure to hop over on Twitch. And well, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for another one. And until then, see you guys and bye bye.